So let's get one thing straight, shall we? God did not put you here to start playing small and having a ton of excuses and wasting everything He has given you, right? Everything He has entrusted you with. Listen, a lot of us are just letting everything go right through our fingers, and life is about like that fast, right? But here's the deal. Stewardship isn't about like this casual when I feel like it type of responsibility. I mean, it's truly a command. Now, this isn't about making you feel good because I'm sorry if that's what you thought this was about. This is actually about holding your feet to the fire. This is about holding a mirror to your face and asking you, are you a good steward of all the gifts, the time, the resources, everything that God has given you, right? Because if you're here, usually everyone who follows me who's a straight talker likes to talk about entrepreneurship, business, coaching, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so if that's you, buckle up because today we are going to dive into what it really takes to be a faithful steward of what God has given you and what He has put in your hands. And I am talking to me too, y'all. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, now let's talk about stewardship, shall we? Because it started right from the beginning. Now, it started in like Genesis when the Lord God took man and put him in the Garden of Eden, right, to work it and to keep it. Notice that God did not say, hey, Adam, whenever you feel like it, okay, you go ahead, tend to the garden when you want to. No, stewardship was a command from day one, from creation. That is impactful to me, right? Because it is something that shows you that most of us take so much things for granted. Everything He has given us, whether it's right now you watching me right now, so you have eyes or ears or all these gifts that we have that we just take for granted, right? And I think it's in Proverbs where it says that a wise man stores up food and olive oil, but fools gulp them down, right? Let's look at this modern example, shall we? These amazing politics that we have finally gone through. I'm so tired of all the texts and the emails. Like I can't tell you, okay? But you know that Kamala Harris outraised Trump by like a lot of money, okay? This recent campaign was ridiculous, okay? But much of it was spent on like all of these great interviews and quick and flashy efforts and all that kind of stuff. For what? For little to no return on all of that money that was spent, right? So what does she have to show for it? Nothing. Okay, this is what happens when you start to take resources and you start to mismanage it. Okay, now for us as entrepreneurs and coaches, we can't afford to be doing all that. All right, we need to treat our business like a business. And if you're treating your business like a hobby, let's say, then don't be surprised when it starts paying you like a hobby and start getting frustrated that it's a hobby, but you don't want to put in the work. Seriously? Okay, stop trying to bury what God has given you. If God has given you the opportunity to be an entrepreneur or to have a gift or to have an education or to have a way to impact the lives of others, then be like that parable of the talent, right? I think it's in Matthew where it talks about, not wasting what God has given you. It says, for it will be like the man going on a journey who called his servants over and entrusted them with his property, right? And in this story, they had an opportunity. Now, some of them missed that opportunity, right? Because the master rewarded those who multiplied what was given to them. But the one who was afraid and buried it out of fear and thought like, oh, I don't really want to, risk anything, right? They had some strong words for him. Now, if you're holding back and you're burying everything that God is giving you, and you're playing safe and you're playing small and you're playing fearful all the time, I'm telling you, I don't think God is pleased by that. All right. So don't expect a pat on the back when you have buried your gifts, when you are not doing what you know God has called you to do, but you're too afraid to play it out. Okay. Your gifts aren't about you, they aren't even for you. Okay. Each of us should use whatever gift we have and everything that God has given us to serve somebody else. Okay. We need to be faithful stewards of what God has given us and the grace that God has given us. Now, the reason I am really passionate about this is because I am talking to me too. There are way too many times I play too small with everything that God has given me. And God's gifts are not just about, building this amazing empire and all gaining the best followers and all that stuff, especially when you're getting into the coaching business or entrepreneurship. We're called to serve. We're called to really impact the lives of someone else. And we're here to make it really like we're helping others instead of hoarding everything for ourselves and for our own successes or for our own gain. Okay, hiding what you know, hiding your knowledge and putting it somewhere and hiding it and not letting it out because you're afraid of sharing it with other people and sharing it with potential clients, whatever. That's not being a good steward over what has been given to you, whether that has been given to you through gifts, whether that has been given to you through life experiences. If God has given you something where you are knowledgeable about it and then you keep it to yourself, you are not a good steward over the knowledge that has been granted to you. Okay. So I want to encourage you to give what has been given to you, which is wisdom, talents, knowledge, resources, whatever. Wealth gained hastily, like something that you're trying to do really fast because you're trying to make it through AI really quick and you don't even got to learn anything and you put everything through AI, that will dwindle as fast as you can create it. Okay. Because you need to start gathering little by little and actually working towards it for you to have increase. Because if you think that you are going to come out here and just bullshit a bunch of people with the stuff that you don't even know, you are teaching nobody nothing. Okay. But if you are a good steward and you have taken all of your life experiences, all of your skill sets, all of your know-hows, and you can put that somewhere, whether it's in a coaching business or an entrepreneurship venture or helping someone out or volunteering, whatever, that is being a good steward over what God has given you. And that will then multiply because all hard work brings a profit. Okay. But mere talk leads to poverty. Okay. So I'm trying to encourage you. Now, if you're out here dreaming without doing, and you're going to find yourself in a really bad pickle, y'all. Okay. If you are dreaming and you're just sitting back and hoping that something's going to happen because you just manifested it and you ain't doing nothing about it, I'm sorry, but that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Okay. When you are building something, whether it's a nonprofit, a business, a coaching program, whatever, okay, and you are growing in influence and reaching people, it is going to take work to do. You're not going to just have it come to you because you look good today. That is not how this works. Okay. But let me tell you something. Don't try to be scheming people out here either. Okay. So no scheming and no shortcuts, because I'm telling you that is not going to lead for what you want, not profit anyway. Okay. Because I really want you to plan and have a diligent mindset so that you can surely attain abundance in your life. Okay. Abundance in knowledge, finances, wisdom, education, whatever that is. Okay. But everyone who comes at something hastily is going to have poverty. And that is just the truth. It is actually biblical. Okay. Money isn't your God. And if you think money's your God and that's why you're out here deceiving people, you are in trouble. Okay. Because the reality check is that you need to keep your lives free from the love of money. Okay. And be content with what God has given you, because what God has given you, I promise, is because that's what you've earned. That is what you have right now. Okay. The life that you have right now is because that's all you have right now. But you need to be diligent and be a good steward of what you have right now, because then He will give you what it is you need for the next step, right? If God would have given me this business, I don't know, 10 years ago when I was just starting out, I wouldn't have known how to handle my clients. I wouldn't know how to do what I do today. I would have messed it all up. Okay. But God is commanding those who are rich to be present in the world and not to be arrogant. Okay. Or to put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain and so fleeting. So if you're building something that you want to be proud of, a business, a coaching program, whatever, right, purely for money, then you're building on sand And you know what happens to a home that is built on sand, right? When the storms come and the winds blow, that house is falling down big time. Okay? Real success is going to come from aligning you to God's word and God's purpose for what he has for you. Now, let's be real. We all know stories of people who have everything, money, that can buy anything they want. They can do whatever they want and they feel completely empty. Now, I even had a friend. I miss her terribly, but I had a friend. She was an amazing human being. We were getting to know each other really well. She was really, really wealthy, and she unalived herself because she was so deeply unhappy. Okay. God doesn't call us to be rich for the sake of being rich and for the sake of just using the resources for ourselves. Use what God has given you wisely. Have a generous heart. Okay. And I'm not just talking about generosity in money. Start being generous in what you do, the time you spend, the way you give to others. Okay. Give generously to them without a begrudging heart. Just give to give, whether it's your time, whether it's your knowledge, whether whatever it is, just give to give. Okay. Because whoever sows sparingly, like if you're going to be stingy about the things you know, and that you know that God has been calling you to do something and you're too afraid to do it, you are being stingy. And when you start to do things sparingly, you're going to reap sparingly. Okay. But God does love a cheerful giver. And if he's giving you extra knowledge, extra know-how, extra wisdom, extra tactics, extra whatever, utilize that to help someone else. Okay. You don't need to be a millionaire to give. Generosity is a posture. Okay. Not an amount. It's the way you show up. Okay. And if you're waiting until you have enough to start giving, you're never going to start. You're never going to start because God only knows I still need in my life, right? I don't feel like I have enough. And my husband works really hard to take care of our home. I have my business. I do things on the side. Like all of that stuff is great, but I still don't feel like I have enough. But can you imagine if I just keep waiting until I have enough to do something? Are you kidding me? You're never going to feel like you have enough throughout your life. You're just not, right? But this is where you need to give what you do have in your time, in your advice, in your resources, in your influence, all of that. Because hoarding really, y'all, I mean, that's just being stingy, right? It's missing out on a blessing. It is missing out on what God has for you. All right. And I think it's yeah, it is Luke. It says, if you have not been faithful with if you have not been faithful in the unrighteous wealth, who will entrust you with true riches? So if God is giving you things and you're not being faithful with that, how are you going to get real riches in your life? And I don't mean just finances. Okay. If you're slacking in the small things, God isn't about to promote you to the big leagues. That's not how this works. Somebody doesn't start in little league and end up playing in like the NFL and all the big games. That's not how that works, right? That little one has to keep growing and learning and growing and mastering and growing and mastering its skill until it is big enough to be in the big leagues. Okay. And even then they are being judged to see if they're good enough to be in the big leagues. In the big leagues. So stop blaming the man. Stop blaming the market. Stop blaming racism. Stop blaming this and blaming that. I am so sick of that. Stop blaming everything. Okay. What really is happening is if you're being stingy, if you are not being somebody who has gratitude in your heart, okay, and you lack faithfulness, then don't be mad when you don't get back what you're not giving. Okay. It's every day in the mundane tasks and the staff and stuff that you don't want to do. That is where your character is built. That is where the resilience lives. Okay. And that is where the big responsibilities, that's where the big boys and the big girls put their pants on. Okay. And if you can't handle that, then you can't handle those extra clients. Okay. You can't handle those extra things, those extra purchases. You can't handle that. Okay, why should God send you hundreds when you can't even be faithful with the little he has sent you? Like you're supposed to work on your business today, but you mad because you didn't have that one person or you couldn't do that one thing. And so you ain't going to do it. But then you want 100 clients. That's not how this works. Okay, be consistent, show up and be a good steward. This is not a suggestion. This is a requirement. Okay, now you have a choice to keep doing the bare minimum. Go on ahead, go do you. Okay. I hope it works out for real. I hope it works out. All right. Let me tell you something. Just in this last election alone, I was keeping track because I wanted to see who was going to do the best and what, because I'm an independent. So I like to see what both sides are doing. Okay. Kamala was barely doing nothing. Okay. Not just for the 3.5 years she was in, but even the time she was running the 100 whatever days. She was barely showing up to stuff. Yo, your boy Trump, the one that won, he was doing interview after interview after travel after interview after interview after interview while she was doing one and taking a vacation. Come on, y'all. Okay, if you can't be good and can't be a good steward what God has called you to do, because let's be real, they're both in positions where God is the one that gives them elevation or not, right? So this week I am going to double dog dare you, okay? That whatever area in your life that you know that you are slacking when it comes to stewardship, I want you to be honest and then I want you to take action. I am daring you to do so, okay? Do not be mocked, or don't think you can mock God, because that is not going to happen. And the someday behavior and blaming everybody, that's not going to help you. It's not going to do anything for you. Excuses are easy. Okay. Excellence, my friends, is a choice. Excuses are easy. They come by the thousands. Believe me, I have a lot of them. Okay. But I want you to hang in there through the hard stuff, through the truth, through facing what is real, and make a freaking difference by making the right choice. Okay? Be a good steward. Stop blaming everybody else. Stop hiding behind other things. Stop wasting what God has given you and step up into what it is you want to do. This is just me being real. Straight talk, no sugar. You know how it rolls. I love you guys so much. I thank you guys for being here. I want to hear if you agree, disagree. I want to see what you have to say about this. Maybe it kind of hit you a little hard. Maybe it didn't. I don't care. Either way, I want to see you win. So let me know what that means for you. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you later.